And good afternoon, everyone. I'm Chief Meteorologist Taylor Kanost here with a weather update. Right now, we're catching a brief lull in the wintry weather in Columbia. That's allowed our temperature to climb up just barely up to 32 degrees. I don't expect it to stay there for the rest of the night, as our next wave of precip will be moving through pretty soon. But for the time being, here's what we're seeing across the region. Wet roadways in much of Columbia. Up in Newberry County, we're seeing much of the same. Check out Calhoun County, the freezing rain creating icicles on the DOT camera there. That's over I-26 near St. Matthews. And then in upstate South Carolina, they've had a healthy round of snowfall today. Not enough to cover the roads, but on the shoulders and on the grass, they are getting plenty of coverage of snowfall this afternoon. So that's the situation across the state. We have had a few reports of ice come in. 0.15 of an inch of ice in Orangeburg, 1/10 of an inch of ice so far in Aiken County and in Bowman in western parts of Orangeburg County as well. We have certainly had freezing rain and ice elsewhere, but that's what has been measured as far and as passing along those reports to us at this point. Earlier this morning, we had some reports of snowfall, just about a trace near Lexington, but 1 inch of snow near Saluda and estimates of 1 to 2 inches of snow down near Augusta, Georgia. We had a brief burst of snow roll through between 8 and 10 o'clock this morning. That has since fizzled out and largely been replaced by a mixed bag. We have all the colors possible on our color palette for us here across South Carolina this afternoon. Green represents regular rain, blue represents snow, the light pink is freezing rain, the purple is sleet, and we're seeing a little bit of all of that across the Midlands this afternoon. Again, catching a brief lull in the activity across the southern and parts of the central Midlands right now. Northern Midlands, you're seeing that mix of some freezing rain and some sleet at this moment. There could be a few snowflakes mixed in there in our far northern tier of the Midlands, but the best chance at snow will be outside of our area for the rest of the day today. Temperatures are going to be a big deal for us as we head into this evening. Right now, we're just barely on either side of 32 degrees. It's right at 32 in Columbia. We have elsewhere, though, temperatures are at or below freezing at this moment. Where those temperatures lie later on tonight will determine what type of weather you see. In Columbia, it is forecast to be at or below 32 degrees all the way through very early in the morning on Saturday. So from right now through about 2 a.m., temperatures will be at or below freezing. At least that's the forecast right now. So that means any precipitation that Columbia gets between now and 2 a.m. is going to likely be freezing rain. That's a long time. And we are expecting a lot of that freezing rain to come our way this evening and overnight tonight. And over time, that is going to add up. Wherever you see pink on the map represents freezing rain, and the map does not exactly point to where I expect the freezing rain to develop. So don't focus too much on the colors. Focus more on the numbers you see next to each of these communities. If those numbers are at 32 or lower, that means freezing rain is expected for your location. That's going to be the case for a lot of us through this evening. In Orangeburg, you'll warm back above freezing by mid to late evening hours, and it'll just be rain for you the rest of the night. But in communities like Camden, like Winsboro, Newberry, and around the Columbia Metro, I expect us to continue to see freezing rain through midnight and really until this system clears out for good around 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. With that in mind, we could have some pretty significant ice totals in the northern part of the state. This is just a model depiction, which I think is underdoing the ice potential. There is the threat for 0.2 to 0.3 of an inch of rain, of freezing rain or ice along and north of the I-20 corridor. Isolated spots could even see as much as 0.4 or 0.4 of an inch of ice overnight tonight. So that would be enough to cause some power outages. I don't know if it's going to be widespread necessarily, but the weight of that ice on power lines is enough to make those kind of sag down toward the ground. Tree branches could snap at that point as well and cause some power outages. So be aware that is at least a possibility, especially for those of you under the winter storm warning. Along with that power outage threat, we definitely have a threat for some dangerous travel conditions overnight tonight, especially along and north of I-20. That includes Columbia. Limit travel tonight if at all possible. Stay inside. It's not worth it. It's going to be a dangerous situation to be traveling out and about across the area. Winter storm warning continues until 4 a.m. for all the counties highlighted in pink. That basically follows the I-20 corridor and does include Richland and Lexington counties. Winter weather advisories for that same time frame for our southeast locations. Here's the bottom line for what you need to know over the next 12 hours or so. Freezing rain leading to ice likely through tonight, especially along and north of I-20. If you don't have to travel, please don't. Stay off the roads. Really, I would advise if you have any last-minute chores to run, do it now rather than this evening. Conditions are only going to go downhill from here, and especially after sunset, I expect the roads to become more and more slick as time goes on. And again, as I mentioned, some isolated power outages will be at least possible for us across the Midlands, especially in our northern Midlands locations. If you need to charge your phone, take care of that now. Before you potentially lose power later on tonight. You're going to wish you had if you don't do so ahead of time. So take care of that. Make sure you have winter weather safety kit handy in your vehicle in case you do have to hit the road. Snacks, some bottled water, of course, flashlight, all good things to have in that situation. You may want maybe some kitty litter to help you gain some traction on your tires if you happen to get stuck in the ice or a little bit of slush out there tonight as well. So again, just a few tips to keep you all safe. Coming up today at 5 o'clock, less than an hour from now, we'll have comprehensive coverage of the preparations being made for this ice storm, what we're seeing right now, and we have live crews out and about across the Midlands for live looks and updates for the current conditions across the area. For now, we'll go ahead and send it back to regular programming.